What is going on, everyone? It is Tal, and I'm bringing you my Week 5 team builder going off against the Real Roulettes and Magic Loaf. Big win last week. We improved to 4-0, and now we go into Week 5 facing off against Loaf and a really scary team with a lot of threats. First off, the Latios and Sandy Shocks, two very powerful special threats, especially with Hadron Engine on the Latios being able to just improve the special attack and electric type moves of the Sandy Shocks, as well as Tinted Lens, in which it can just kind of spam dragon or psychic type moves at will. Sandy Shocks also has the Levitate just in case of our ground moves, but it also has the Refrigerate, so it can run Terra Blast Ice and have Bolt Beam coverage. Okerpond Wellspring has the Grassy Surge, Grassy Glide combo, as well as Primordial Sea if it wants to get boost on its water type moves, as well as make it immune to fire types, which is pretty big here, especially because we have an Hisuian Arcanine, which is something that we bring a decent amount of the time. Hisuian Gudra has Regenerator and Earth Eater. Earth Eater can take our ground hits from our Landorus, as well as if you want to run like Earthquake on the Blastoise, but it also has the Regenerator, so it can come in, take a hit, and get out and be at full. No Guard and Delta Stream on the Tornadus. Delta Stream can be a little bit concerning against Primordial Sea, Archaludon, or the Zapdos with Drizzle, but No Guard I expect a little bit more because of Focus Blast. Focus Blast, Hurricanes, and Heat Waves are really good into our team, so I am expecting a No Guard, maybe Specs, maybe Life Orb, Tornadus into this matchup. Toxapex is really scary. Both of its abilities are really good into us. Toxapex could have Fluffy, which makes basically our Arcanine or like a physical Blastoise or Landorus or even our Okidoki really hard to match up into, but I am expecting more of the Lightning Rod. Because of Zapdos and Archaludon, I think Lightning Rod just makes a lot more sense. So I do expect the Toxapex to come into this matchup next to Tornadus with that Lightning Rod ability. Last five are all pretty strong or pretty bulky or a combination of both. Conkeldurr with that Sword of Ruin can be really strong, get really big physical fighting type attacks into our team, which is pretty decent in everything except maybe the Screamtail or the Zapdos. Both Sword of Ruin, it really can just hit everything. Cinccino has Toxic Chain and Technician, could be a little bit of an issue, but we have some physical threats and steel types that kind of deal with it, so I'm not too afraid of Cinccino. Arcanine has the Magic Guard and the Pixelate. Both could be pretty decent here. I expect maybe the Magic Guard if he is going to bring it, just because we have a lot of mons that could set up rocks, and then also he's not taking damage from Flare Blitz if he decides to do that, because we do have a fluffy Umbreon that we could bring into this matchup. Final two mons are two very bulky mons. Fortress with the Well-Baked Body, which can be really scary into our Hisuian Arcanine or into our Landorus if we decide to run Desolate Land with Weather Ball. Basically makes it have no weaknesses and is just really bulky all around. And also that Sheer Force, he did make a swap to have Sheer Force and Regenerator swap from Hisuian Gudra and Fortress. So he hasn't really tried out Sheer Force yet. It could be something with some of his moves, not sure, but I do expect the Well-Baked Body Fortress in this matchup. Last mod is going to be that Spiritomb, having that Prankster and that Unaware. Again, I'm not really afraid of this mod as much, especially because we do have an Umbreon that we could bring, or a Cacturne, both dark types. So I do expect if he does bring it to be Unaware because of something like our Archaludon or like a boosted Blastoise, but yeah, that is his team. So a lot of special threats, a lot of really good mons here that can hit us pretty hard. It's a pretty scary team, and going into this matchup, I knew there was one mon I really needed, and I needed a lot of speed. And so for that, we are bringing Agility, Life Orb, Magic Guard, Hisui, and Arcanine. This can outspeed a Scarf Tornadus Therian after an Agility, and we have Close Combat, Head Smash, Flare Blitz, and Agility like stated before. Max Attack Adamant with that Life Orb, Magic Guard, we're not going to be taking any recoil, we're not going to be taking any damage from rocks, we're not going to be taking any damage from Life Orb. If we can get off one Agility, this mon kind of goes crazy against his team, can hit everything really hard. We have that Close Combat for the Hisui and Gudra, or for like, I don't know, Cinccino, but I think we're mostly going to be spamming Head Smash in this matchup and Flare Blitz. Not a great switch-in into Sandy Shocks, but could be a switch-in into something like the Fortress or the Arcanine that can't really hit us really hard, but we could probably hit it back or just be able to set up on it. I do expect the Fortress to come with that Well-Baked Body, so seeing how much a Head Smash does is going to be pretty useful. I expect him to run probably more special defense, probably just preparing for our Screamtail, which is actually our next mon. So We are running almost the same exact set as last week, running Boom Burst Psychic with the choice specs, running Trick and Baton Pass. So a lot of speed here, enough speed to outspeed max speed Latios. And yeah, we have the Boom Burst. We're just going to be clicking Boom Burst. It's really good into this matchup. His only resists are that Toxapex and that Fortress. Fortress could be a little bit of an issue, but we could trick our Choice Specs onto it and also trick our Choice Specs onto the Toxapex, and both it could be really, really beneficial to get that item on both of them. It doesn't want that. So we can kind of just spam Boom Burst. If we predict the Toxapex to come in after a little bit, we can start clicking Psychics if we really want to. But Boom Burst still should do a decent amount. Again, I'm expecting Toxapex and Fortress in this matchup as defensive pivots. He could run Fluffy on the Toxapex, but really don't expect it. Really do expect that Lightning Rod. And we're not running Thunderbolt this week just because, you know, he has the Tornadus, but it could be running Delta Stream, and Boom Burst is just going to do more. Baton Pass, just in case you want to lead this or get a little bit of pivot off if I do really think the Fortress is coming in and I don't want to lose my choice specs yet, I could just Baton Pass and we should be faster than everything barring a choice Scarfmon or the Tornadus. And we do take hits pretty well from the Tornadus. We are still a Screamtail, so we're really bulky, but we can still get those big Boom Bursts off. That should be a 2-hit KO barring no AV. Next on, we were bringing kind of the same set that we have every single week, but it's going to be that Umbreon. It's going to be Toxic, Wish, Baton Pass. I believe we're running Foul Play. I think I'm between Foul Play and Protect. We'll see in the match, but for now, it is Protect. But I think we'll run Foul Play going into it. But yeah, kind of just same thing, really good into Conkeldurr or Arcanine or Fortress, and even if you want to run Physical, Sui, and Goodra, it's something that's really good into that. And yeah, just getting Toxics off on some of these mons is really beneficial. I think if we can get a Toxic off on the Tornadus or even the Conkeldurr or even the Latios, it's just, it makes it kind of, we wall them pretty well and can stall out with wishes and switches and whatnot. So going into the latter half of our team, we are bringing Cacturne 2 Dark types this week. We are bringing an Adaptability Black Glasses Cacturne. Sucker Punch is really good into his team. The only resist that he has is the Conkeldurr, and Knockoff still does a bunch. This is the type of mon we can bring in on something like the Fortress, the Spiritomb, or even into the Latios if I'm expecting a Psychic type move, and we one-shot basically all those with Sucker Punch. We're max attack Adamant plus Adaptability, just a little bit of speed so that we can, you know, speed creep some of those mons like the Sui and Goodra, which is pretty beneficial to kind of catch him off guard, maybe go for a knockoff. We do have Destiny Bond as well if I'm scared of one of his more bulky attackers that's a bit slower, so maybe if I'm expecting the Toxapex to kill us, I can go for a Destiny Bond, get out of there, and yeah, sacrifice the Cacturne. We're running Spiky Shield as well, just to maybe get some chip on something like the Conkeldurr. Obviously, if a Conkeldurr comes in against us, it's going to want to go for a Drain Punch or a Close Combat, so we can always just go for a Spiky Shield, get a little bit of chip off. Maybe that's the difference in some Sucker Punch calcs. And then we can either switch out or, you know, stay in, could Destiny Bond, really depends. But really excited to bring Cacturne this week. No grass moves this week, actually, just dark type moves. His team, I don't think it only has one grass type weakness, and that's the Sandy Shocks, and Sucker Punch and Knockoff are just going to do fine. Now, we did make a change this week. We did add Corrosion on Muck instead of Tablets of Ruin, and that is what we're bringing into this matchup. Max special defense, max HP with the Black Sludge. I really didn't see us bring Tablets of Ruin, just seeing how effective Umbreon has been as a physically defensive wall, as well as being able to do the same with something like Blastoise or Registeel, or even the Zapdos if I really wanted to. I thought that we didn't need Tablets of Ruin anymore and decided to go Corrosion instead. Pancake, who was our next matchup, he's been running Corrosion Clodsire, and it's been really effective so far, so I wanted to try it out. His team doesn't really handle this really well with max special defense. Even something like the Sandy Shocks isn't doing a crazy amount into us outside of like really strong earth powers, but we can come in on some of those mons like the Tornadus, like the Latios probably, and maybe just get a Toxic off, knock off an item if he starts boosting up with something like a Toxapex or the Spiritomb. If he wants to run a Calm Mind Stored Power set, we could just Haze. But yeah, this is just pure stall on this set. Corrosion can Toxic the Sui and Goodra or the Fortress. Fortress, again, is a really big issue, so this is basically our switch into Fortress. Every time, bring this in, click Toxic, can knock him off, and then go from there. And the final mon, coming back from week 1, we haven't brought it since week 1. It's already week 5, really surprising. But we're going to bring Registeel, very standard set. Iron Defense, Body Press, Thunderwave, and Stealth Rock. We are running the Earth Eater, so that this is our Sandy Shock switch in every single time. Basically, this or Muck are going to be your answers in the Sandy Shocks. He has a lot of really strong special attackers, so we had to bring some really special bulk. And Earth Eater and is really good into his Sandy Shocks. Thunderwave for stuff like that Latios that wants to switch him, maybe the Tornadus. So we're really trying to status him up. Stealth Rock as well, because he doesn't have a great Rapid Spinner outside of Fortress, and even though I do expect it, if we can get a Thunderwave off or a Toxic, it's not going to be there for much longer, and he would be forced to run Tornadus with Boots, and we haven't really been running Rock, so I don't really expect the Tornadus to be running Boots. So that is going to be the team for this week. A little bit more bulky, a little bit on the latter half of our team, actually. We haven't brought Registeel, Cacturne, and Muck. I think were our final 3 picks for the draft, and they're coming out this week, and they just felt like a better matchup than bring in someone like Zapdos, which really couldn't hit a lot of these mons, or Caledon, which, you know, I really thought about bringing, but it kind of got walled by some mons, and Toxapex with that Lightning Rod, as well as the Fortress, was just really scary, so had to bring something a little bit different. But I'm really excited to, you know, go a little bit more bulky, try out the Cacturne with adaptability this week for the first time, and Corrosion with the Muck. So that is going to be the team for this week. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the battle. Peace out, everybody.